Rule 7, does it matter how I think about things? Does it really matter how I think? As I said, I have shifted from a sick thinker to a truth-based thinker over the last 2 decades, and I tell you what, it makes a massive difference to the way I live life, to the way I see life, to the decisions I make, the choices I make. It really does matter what we think. There is that saying that says we are what we eat. Well, it's very true to say we are what we think. We don't want to be transformed by the removal of our brain. We want to be transformed by the renewing of it. Rule 7, here's some of the lies. And living wisdom is all about tracing the lie, facing the lie, and replacing the lie. That's what it's all about. You can get rid of the cobwebs, but they're just going to come back if you can't find the spider. This is about finding the spider and getting rid of the spider, even though it is a huntsman, sitting on your fly spray in the can in the caravan when you get home at night. Really had to test was my mind, my friend, that night when I went to sleep. So it is what we think. It's so crucial. But how do we trace a lie if we don't know it's there? We can see some problematic behaviour in our child or in us, but we don't know what's producing it unless we can trace the root of it. And that's what we're doing in these grey pages. We're looking for the roots. And it's quite amazing when you read these with a child, they will identify which lie they believe. They'll tell you, I believe that. And so your next question to them is, how did you decide that was true? And they will tell you how they decided it was true. Most of the time, they know. Once you ask that empowering question, how did you decide that was true, you're pulling up an event from their mind to connect the dot, and they will tell you how they decided that. And now you're into debriefing, you're into talking about it, and you're into helping them tell themselves the truth instead of the lie, replacing it. It's a bit like tooth decay. Get down there, dig it out, and fill it up with the good stuff so that it stops hurting. My thoughts need to look after me and encourage me no matter what is happening. My thinking can be like a naughty puppy, but I can train it to do what I want to do. We are a spirit. The real us is a spirit. We live inside a body, which starts off great and ends up deteriorating. And then we have a mind, which we've got to train. We've got to teach our mind to behave itself. We've got to teach our mind to not make things crucial that aren't crucial. We've got to teach our mind to not major on the minors and minor on the majors. We've got to teach our mind to accept responsibility for our mood or our choices. We've got to teach our mind to stop blame shifting and putting it onto other people. It has to be trained, just like our children need to be trained. We can't just feed them and clothe them, we need to train as well, and we need to train our mind. Failure or getting it wrong is a useful part of learning. It doesn't have to be terrible. I love this. People are so allergic to failure now. They haven't realised that failure is feedback. Failure is helpful. It teaches me what works and what doesn't work. Fail is just telling me about my methods or my beliefs. It's not telling me about my worth and value. Why are we allergic to it? You can fail forward. You fail forward. You don't fail backwards unless you beat yourself up so that you don't fail again, which doesn't work. You encourage yourself forward and you learn from it. Most failures are not fatal unless you're a heart surgeon or maybe a pilot. Then it could be fatal. But for us, average people, it's not fatal. It's a learning experience. This rule comes from Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor who wrote Man's Search for Meaning. Very powerful book. He came out with some powerful truths that it's not what happens to you that really does the harm in the end, but how you choose to think about it and respond to it. He also said that the human spirit can bear anything except a lack of purpose. So if you can find purpose in suffering, you will get fruit from it, you will grow from it, you will win from it. It will not beat you, you will beat it. And he also said the Holocaust taught us the level that humans can become evil, but it also taught us the incredible strength of the human spirit. Both. And what we want to do is empower our children to rise up, to build courage, to be able to bounce back regardless of the circumstances, when you can find meaning and purpose. And it doesn't mean they're going to bounce back tomorrow or next week. It could be years, but the main thing is they get up and they live a life they can love. So rule 7, it really does matter what you think. You are what you think. So train your thinking, monitor your thinking, trace, face and replace.